Hey peeps, how are we doing out there today? So I just wanted to give you guys, I believe it's the week 8 picks now, as we see yesterday we had the Thursday game. I oftentimes unfortunately missed the Thursday game picks just because of how my schedule works out. But we'll do all the other picks as per usual. The Falcons, I would have probably picked this game for the Panthers, so I probably would have gotten that wrong. The Falcons did win last night, so that was a bit of an upset, I think. But moving on from that, we're going on to pick the Vikings and Packers game. So I'm going to go with, obviously, the Packers here. The Vikings, they have a chance for the upset, but they've been playing so badly this year, I would be very surprised if they got it. I think the Packers have just been on fire this season. Only lost one very ugly game against the Buccaneers, but the Buccaneers are one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't think they're the best team in the NFL, but they're one of the best teams in the NFL. And the Packers losing to them makes sense. That game could have gone either way. It was very ugly for the Packers, but I feel like the Pack definitely wins this game pretty easily. Might be a little bit more of a difficult game than I anticipate. In fact, I'm probably only going to give the Pack like a 4-point win here. I'll say 28-24. Packers win just because the Vikings-Packers games tend to be a bit closer than other games that the Packers play against other kind of more weaker opponents. Even if the Vikings are bad, they usually make it a close game against the Pack. So I'll give the Pack 28-24 for the victory. Titans-Bengals. This is obviously, to me, the Titans. Titans come off their first loss last week against the Steelers. The Steelers are unfortunately the only undefeated team left in the NFL. But I feel like the Titans are a whole lot better than the Bengals, and that they should be able to just run over them. Now I'll give the Bengals a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here, just because the Titans' defense is not their strong suit, obviously, this season. That being said, the Titans' offense should be able to dismantle the Bengals' defense pretty easily. Especially if Derrick Henry is going to rack up some yards this week, most likely. Joe Burrow's going to be able to put up some numbers this week, most likely. I'd say at least give the Bengals 21-24 points, but that's probably not going to be able to be enough to beat the Titans. I give the Titans here like a 31-24 victory. Maybe a bit closer than in reality what it's going to end up being, but I'd say, 31-24 Titans. Jets, Chiefs, oh my god, the Chiefs are going to absolutely dismantle the Jets. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Chiefs put up 50 points plus on the Jets. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think it's going to be an absolute runaway game for the Chiefs. We're talking about possibly the best team in the NFL versus the worst team in the NFL this week in this game. I feel kind of bad for the Jets having to go into this game with 0 wins, though you're definitely going to lose unless some miracle happens. I'd say the Chiefs are going to run all over the Jets this week. I'd say 52. I'll be generous and nice to the Jets. 52-10. I feel like, 52-10 Chiefs. Easy. Colts, Lions. This is a hard game to pick just because both of these teams are so random a lot of the time. But I'm going to go with a slight edge to the Colts. I like the matchup for both teams, I think. Matt Stafford, Philip Rivers are very similar quarterbacks in terms of how they play the game. I like both quarterbacks in this game. I like the Colts a lot, though. The Colts probably the best or second best defense in the league. I think I think the Ravens right now. I think the Ravens do have the best defense in the league based on pure stats. But the Colts probably have the second best defense, or they're in the top 5 of defenses. So I think just knowing that gives the Colts a bit of an edge. I would like to say the Colts are probably going to win maybe like 27-24 It's going to be a close game. I don't see the Colts winning by more than 3 to 4 points. But I can see them at least winning by a field goal, which is why I'm going 27-24 Colts. Steelers and Ravens. In the game with both teams being very good, the Ravens have one loss. The Steelers are the only undefeated team left. This is probably the hardest part of the schedule for either team, as per usual. It's at Baltimore, which doesn't make that much of a difference this season. It's at 12 p.m. Central Time, but 1 p.m. Eastern Time, where the game is going to take place. I usually say for this game. I'm probably gonna predict the Ravens just for now. Yeah, I'll predict the Ravens for now for this game, which means next time I might be inclined to go with the Steelers, but we'll see how things are going. But I'm gonna predict the Ravens this week. Just because it's at Baltimore off a bye week, the Steelers are coming off. The Steelers have played well all season. Obviously, they're undefeated. They played the Titans last week. I think the Titans were undefeated at the time, but the Ravens are definitely. I think the Ravens are slightly better than the Titans right now, especially with the addition of Yannick Ngakoue. And the reason I think the Ravens are slightly better than the Titans right now is just because of their defense. Like I said, from a pure stats standpoint, the Ravens' defense is the best defense in the NFL right now. Patrick Queen is an emerging star. Yannick Ngakoue is a great pass rusher the Ravens just added. He's been on the roster for about a week now. Des Bryant's in the Ravens practice squad. He will not be suiting up this week, or probably, I'm thinking Des Bryant won't suit up for the Ravens probably for at least 4 to 5 weeks. But in terms of the score of this game, I think the score might actually be 27 to 24 Ravens. I'm never gonna predict a game where either one of these teams gets blown out. That's incredibly stupid. It's Ravens, the Steelers, best. I would say the best rivalry in football, probably in my opinion. But I'm biased since I'm a Ravens fan. But I feel like the Steelers might have the statistical edge on offense, but you have to remember that they haven't played a good defense all season. This is like last week they played a good team, but they have not played a good defense all season. This is the first time the Steelers really have to face a good defense, and I think that's going to create some problems. Although I think they played the Broncos, but even the Broncos, the Broncos as a team, of course the Steelers were going to win that game. This time the Ravens have a good offense and a good defense. The Ravens are probably the most balanced team in the NFL right now, other than the Steelers. Like I said, this is probably the two, I would say, two of the best teams in the NFL. And they always give us good games, especially with Ben Roethlisberger coming back. And I've talked on this game for way too long at this point. But yeah, my final pick would be Ravens 27, Steelers 24. So Rams, Dolphins. Man, Tua Tagovailoa is starting this week for the first time. I don't like the decision to bench Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. I just feel like he was playing so well that you didn't need to bench him. This is a really interesting game. And I would say if Fitzpatrick is starting, I might even give the edge to the Dolphins, but I'm going to go ahead and give the edge to the Rams just because Tua is starting. A lot of people might say, oh, you sound stupid. Tua's going to be so great. Tua's a rookie. Chill out. Tua time is not a thing. Tua time is not a thing yet. He is a rookie. We have no idea what he's going to play like. I'm just being realistic. And his first game is against the Rams. Are you kidding me? And the Dolphins decided to bench Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. Now, the Rams are probably not going to be prepared for Tua because there's no film on him yet. We don't know. Again,
it's going to be interesting. This is going to be a whole different offense for Tua than it was under Fitzpatrick. And with Fitzpatrick, I would probably give him the Dolphins a little bit of an edge because they're playing really well. Like, they're 3-3. They're not a bad team at all. And Fitzpatrick was on fire, and I think he would have continued to be. But you have to remember, Tua is going into this game. He's going to have to play a game where his first encounter against the NFL defense includes a defense with Aaron Donald on it. That's not going to be fun for Tua Tagovailoa. And I just don't know that this is the time to bring Tagovailoa in. The Dolphins obviously think he's ready, but I don't know if this is the time. I feel like maybe they could have waited a little bit longer, or until at least Ryan Fitzpatrick started to fall off, because he was probably going to fall off eventually. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'll say 23-13 Rams. I like that score because I believe Tua will probably put him at least 13 points this week, but we'll see. It's gonna be hard to give an edge to a rookie quarterback over Jared Goff at this point. I'm not a huge fan of Jared Goff, but I can at least give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll beat the Dolphins. Patriots and Bills. The Patriots have looked bad over the last few weeks. The Bills are a complete football team. I'm going to have to go with the Bills on this one. I'm going to have to go with the Bills on this one. This is a big deal for the Bills, though. You have to realize this is a big game for the Bills. If they win this game, they'll start running away with this division. And this is a big game for the Patriots, because the Patriots, ironically, for the first time in like how many ever years, are in a position where they might not make the playoffs this season already. We already know the Patriots are fighting for a last seed in the AFC right now. They're fighting for like that 7th seed spot right now. So the Patriots are going to want to win this game, but it's going to be tough because I think they're going up against the best team in the division right now. And yeah, the Bills didn't look that great last week, but they pulled through, and I think they beat the Patriots this week. I would say maybe about 20 to... I would even say 2017 Bills. Raiders, Browns. Man, the Browns, I have no idea what they are. The Browns, OBJ is injured. They still have a decent chunk of players that are going to be really good. But I like the Raiders this season. I really do like the Raiders this season. I'm going to predict the Raiders to win this one. Just because I have no idea how Baker is going to be able to do in a shootout, basically. In a shootout against a team with a better defense than Cincinnati. Not by much, but I believe the Raiders do have a better defense than Cincinnati, and it's going to show this week. I think the Raiders even win this game, maybe like 34 to like 28 or something, because I believe the Browns will still put up a decent amount of points. But I just don't see them winning the game. Raiders are going to win 34-28. Chargers and Broncos. Again, I love Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is probably the most underrated quarterback coming out of this rookie class. People are hyping up Tua Tagovailoa more than they are Herbert, and we've seen Herbert play already. Tagovailoa hasn't played at all yet, and people are hyping him up more, and Herbert has balled out every single week. Dude is passing for over 300 yards basically every single week. He has multiple touchdowns, and he has less interceptions than he does touchdowns. The dude is doing really well for being on the Chargers. I think the Chargers are overall a better team this week, and I think that Justin Herbert is overall a better quarterback than Drew Lock as well. I think Herbert balls out yet again. I think he balls out yet again, and I think the Chargers I'm thinking the Chargers are going to have to put up at least 28 points to win this game. I'll say 28-24 Chargers. Saints Bears. Man, Nick Foles. A couple weeks ago, I thought you were on top of the world. Now you just look at the bottom. I'm very confused, but overall, I think the Saints are a better team. Overall, I think the Saints are a better team. The Bears are gonna get stuck here. They're gonna get stuck in the elevator for a second because it's not gonna look good for them over the past couple weeks. They have to play very tough matchups for them personally, I think. over the next few weeks. I think the Saints take this game, but I think it's a little bit closer than maybe people think. I say maybe like 25 to 23, something like that. Saints. Seahawks and Niners. Man, the Niners are a confusing team to me. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Man, I felt bad last week, though, because I did not start Tyler Lockett on. I had Tyler Lockett on my fantasy team last week, but I didn't start him. And of course, dude got over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. It was insane. Tyler Lockett is the most underrated. He's the most underrated player in the NFL. I'll just say that. Tyler Lockett is the most underrated player in the NFL. Not just wide receiver, but underrated player. Dude is going to probably ball out yet again against the Niners this week. Russ is going to be dangerous. And I think the Seahawks are about to take this game from the Niners. Yeah, the Seahawks did lose to the Cardinals last week. But it was in overtime, and Russ threw 3 interceptions, which is completely out of character. Russ had a bag. He threw 3 interceptions, but he also threw 3 touchdowns. Doesn't make up for the fact that he threw 3 interceptions, but the game to go in overtime when Russ throws 3 interceptions, that's actually pretty impressive for the Seahawks, I think. If Russ doesn't have such a bad game, the Seahawks would have won, and I think Russ is going to bounce back this week. Watch Russ toss like 4 touchdowns this week. You know it's about to happen. Yeah. Russell, so 30, I'm going to say 35-31 Seahawks. Eagles and Cowboys. This is a very, very big game this week. I like this matchup a lot for both teams. Who the hell is Andy Dalton injured now? I don't know. If Andy Dalton is injured, we know it. I just have to look up Andy Dalton to see if he's injured. Dallas Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy not completely ruling out Andy Dalton. Should the Eagles hope to face Andy Dalton or Ben DiNucci? Injury report. Andy Dalton is doubtful for Sunday night. Okay. I'm going to say Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to win this game, and that will put them in front of everybody else in the division. If they do win the game, the Washington football team does not play this week. Doesn't really matter because one of these teams is gonna have to win. And the Eagles are currently in first place. Bad news, Dallas fans. I'm thinking your team ain't making it to the playoffs at all. Bad news for Dallas fans, man. This division is going to be basically just one off who has the best divisional record because none of these teams are winning games outside their division this year. That's how bad the division is. Unless one of them plays the Jets or something. But I don't think they are because I don't know what the division they need. The NFC, the Jets. Yeah, no, they're not. None of these teams has the ability to play the Jets at all this season. I guarantee at least one of them wishes they did. But one of these teams is going to have to win this division, and at this point, if Andy Dalton is injured, I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Eagles. Because the Eagles have the best quarterback in the division, in Carson Wentz. They have, I would say, a better team overall than most of the other teams in this division. If they win this game, I'm pretty sure it's basically called. Like, basically, you can call it if they win this game. The division is probably going to go to the Eagles if they win this game. I mean, I know it's like halfway through the season, but that's just how bad this division is you can basically call it to the Eagles by them just winning this game. I think they're going to win. I think they're gonna win. I'll say like 28-10. I believe the Cowboys have the worst defense potentially in NFL history. They do. The Cowboys have probably the worst defense in NFL history. I'm gonna go 28-10 Eagles. The Eagles' offense is bad, but I even think that a bad offense can put up at least 28 points in that Cowboys defense because Do you all know that the Cowboys are slated to potentially give up more points than any other team in NFL history ever this season? That's how bad their defense is. They have a historically bad defense, the Cowboys do. Historically bad. Their offense is all right, but if you have a historically bad defense, good luck. They've given up like over 24 points in every single game that they played this season. Potentially over 28 points in every single. I think they have. I think the Cowboys have given up over 28 points to every single team they've played this season, which is just insane to me. That is insane, actually. Buccaneers, Giants. Buccaneers are easily going to take this game. The Giants are going to get absolutely dominated. Ironically, the Giants actually did beat the Buccaneers last year, but you have to remember the quarterback of the Buccaneers last year was Jameis Winston, Mr. 30 interceptions out here, versus Tom Brady, who is probably going to throw like 5 to 6 touchdowns on that Giants defense, most likely. And the Giants no longer have Eli Manning, who was his kryptonite. Now they just have Daniel Jones, who just looks like Eli Manning at the end of his career, which is a sad sight to see. Daniel Jones trip over myself and potentially not score a game-winning touchdown. That's who Daniel Jones is. Eli would have scored that touchdown, 100%. Eli would have scored that. If Eli had made the same run, he would have scored on that touchdown. He would have scored on that play. Eli would have scored. Daniel Jones trips over himself and doesn't score the touchdown on that play. I'm gonna say it though. I'm gonna say Buccaneers 35, Giants 10. I think that's about the same score I predicted from the last game. But yeah, the Buccaneers are gonna at least score 35 on the Giants. At least, maybe even more. I would even potentially say 42. My worst prediction for the Giants is 42 to 10. But yeah, the Buccaneers are definitely winning that game, 100%. That's a bit of a longer. Yeah, that's a bit of a longer one. So I think usually I go through the games I think that are pretty good this week. This week, there are a couple like the Raiders game. The Raiders-Browns game is probably going to be good. The Seahawks-Niners game is probably going to be good, and it's definitely Steelers-Ravens, and I think Colts-Lions should also be pretty good. Vikings-Packers will also be good. There's a bunch of games that are going to be good this week, but there are also a bunch of games that are probably going to end up being blowouts. So, yeah. Alright, that's it for the picks this week. I just like to say peace out, have a good one. See you next week.